All right. Well, there's a slide above me, but I'm not going to talk about it because I'll leave it a mystery if you can't read it too fast. So I'm trying to build a pathway of how invasive wood borers come into Canada from India and China mainly. And what are invasive species? Well, they're species that are not found in their native regions, and they move to other regions where they are invasive. They have very drastic effects on ecosystems when they come into regions outside their native habitat. They can alter ecosystems, they can clog our infrastructure like the pipe seen in the background, and they are very costly to manage and control. They cost Canada approximately $7.5 billion a year to control. And that's one of my friends trying to pull out Himalayan blackberry in one of our invasive removal events. And they can be introduced intentionally or unintentionally. Intentionally, as it is for cattle, they brought in for the dairy and meat production. Unintentionally, through potted plants, through wood packaging material is what I'm mainly focused on. So as trade increases around the world and we increase in efficiency and increase in the number of partners that we have, the more these insects get moving around as well. And the pathway that I'm interested in is these wood packaging material, which everything, basically electronics to your clothing to shoes, get packed in these wood packaging material and are shipped across the world in the shipping cargo. So what happens is this wood borers, the insects seen over there, the Asian longhorn beetle, they infest the trees get cut up, they are made into these wood packaging material, and the insects live in that wood packaging material, they get onto the ships, and the ships travel across the world and come into Canada. And they're inspected at the border when they arrive here. So this wood packaging material is supposed to be heat treated and fumigated to kill these insects before they come into Canada, but due to non-compliance, this is not always the case, and these insects are alive in this wood when they get here. And when we find these insects in this wood packaging, we try to identify them, but because they're almost larvae, that we don't always get a chance to directly identify what exactly these species are. So I'm interested in looking at what wood these insects come in. And I'm focused on poplar trees because poplar trees grow really fast, and they are grown a lot in India and China. And the more they're produced, the more of that gets into this wood packaging material. And they are host for these insect pests. And Canada has a lot of these poplar trees as well. So when these pests land in Canada, they have ample amount of hosts that they could infest and spread in Canada as well. So what the information that I'm trying to get is, we know that poplar and their associated pests are present in India and China. They get into wood packaging material and they travel to Canada, which we inspect, and then if we find any, or if they go uninspected, because only such a small amount, 2% of all the packaging material that comes into Canada is actually inspected, and if they move and bypass that surveillance, they can infest our poplar that's grown in Canada. So I was supposed to get national and state summaries of poplar production in India and China, and I did a preliminary literature search to get that information and identify what the potential risk of these insects coming into Canada. I had to scour through websites, scour through all these databases to get my information, and also contact experts in China and India. And we built a map which has the poplar species the pest species in India, and what I'm going to do is overlay the plants and identify what provinces have the plants and the pests, and see if we import wood from those provinces that we should be careful and assess them even better. So my project, the results are going to go to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, and they are going to use it to see what they can do with policy, perform risk assessments, and then improve their methods of surveys for these invasive pests. Well, I learned that collaboration is important. It was amazing to collaborate with people that had these technical skills to build maps that I didn't have and get these information out of. It was frustrating to know that I needed the data, I knew what I needed, but I couldn't find it online. So there were gaps in the process of my pathway. And I would email people in China and India and not get responses for about 2 weeks, so I had to stall getting my results. Tech GIS too. Because in any field you're in, whether it's biology or anything, you would need these skills to apply. You can apply these skills anywhere. So I'm going to take that course next year, hopefully. Thanks to Simon Fraser University, the Department of Biology, my supervisors Jenny Corey, Troy Kimoto from the CFIA, and one of my best friends, Melissa, who built me the maps, who has the GIS skills. Yeah. Thank you. Any questions?